The parable of the Good Samaritan was illustration of benevolence and selfishness. Dalawa ang target ng Good Samaritan nung in-explain ni Jesus. Balikan natin ulit, ang kausap niya ay isang lawyer. He was talking to a lawyer. And the lawyer raised a question to him. Okay? So once, dito makikita natin that this is about benevolence. Ano, tutulong ba tayo? O ano, bibigyan ba natin ng assistance ang isang half-dead na tao? Or we will maintain our selfishness? So one situation may expose, ang sinasabi ng parable, that one situation may expose the real you. So whether there is a religious man inside of you that is heartless, or there is a hidden Good Samaritan inside of you that will respond to a specific need. So ang sinasabi ng parable, ano ba, meron bang nakatagong reliyoso na tao sa katawan mo pero apathetic sa need ng tao? Sapagkat ang sinasabi niya, exempted kami dyan, sa inyong trabaho yan. Or may nakatagong isang mabuting Samaritana sa loob-loob mo na ngayon ay magre-respond sa isang specific na pangangailangan. Wow! So the question was, what must I do to inherit the eternal life? That was the question raised by the lawyer. Tama po ba? And this question, ayon po sa pinag-aralan natin, in Luke chapter 10, was a trap. Tinatrap ang Panginoon. Whether sususugan ba niya yung pinipreach yung sinulat ni Moses na Torah, o aalisin niya. So it was a trap. And so another question was thrown by the Lord. So nagtanong siya, and then Jesus returned to him the question, giving him another question. At ang sabi, what is written in the law? Anong ba nakalasulat sa batas mo? Ano nakasulat sa batas natin? What is written in the law? How do you read it? Paano mo siya i-interpretin? So the lawyer gave the Shema as an answer. Sinumagot naman yung lawyer. Alam naman niya yung sagot eh. Sabi niya, to love God with all of your heart, with all of your soul, and with all of your strength. And of course, loving your neighbor as you love yourself. At sumagot ang Panginoon sa kanya, uy, you have answered it brilliantly. Tama ka. Diba? So the expert lawyer brilliantly answered the necessity of loving God. Sabi, I confirm. Sabi niya, tama ang sagot mo, sabi ng Panginoon. Luke 10:28, you have answered correctly, brilliantly. Jesus replied, do this and you will live. So yung unang part is commendation. Yung pangalawang sagot ng Panginoon is a trap. Do this, do it. Natrap na ngayon yung natrap na ngayon yung lawyer na Pharisee, na pare, in verse 29, Luke 10:29, but he wanted to justify himself because he was trapped. Yan ang tinanim mo, yan dinaanihin mo. But he wanted to justify himself. He asked Jesus, who is then my neighbor? Tatlong sunod-sunod na mga tanong-tanong po yan. Okay? So ang tanong natin, he wanted to justify himself with whom? Bakit? Saan mo gustong ipagtanggol ang sarili mo? Gusto niyang patotohanan ang kanyang sarili. Diba? Siguro ang sinasabi natin dito that he wanted to justify himself not before the crowd, hindi sa harapan ng tao, but about his own conscience. Meron siyang sariling conscience. Hindi nahuli siya ng Panginoon. Huli ka. Because yung expert sa law na ito, nakausap ni Jesus, ay expert din sa pagre-reject ng mga Gentiles or foreigner because of their superiority complex. Because the expert of the law was also expert in rejecting the Gentiles because of their superiority complex. Believing that the Lord will only talk to the Jews. That the real temple is the Jewish temple. Puro kanila at kanila. So trap ka ngayon. So sumagot na naman siya. Another question. Tanongan ito eh. Tanongan ng tanongan. Para mag-asawa, may pera ka ba? Bakit nasa yung pera mo? Po ba? Tinago ko, isa mo tinago. Di tanongan ng tanongan, okay? So the question is now, ito na ngayon, this is the last question. And who is my neighbor? Sino ba ang aking kapwa-tao? Sino ba ang aking kapitbahay? Luke 10:30 papasok. Pag binasa natin yung Luke 10:30, ayun na, praise the Lord, ano sabi ng Panginoon? Sinagot na ng Panginoon. Kinuwento niya yung verse 30 of Luke chapter 10, verse 30. In reply, Jesus said, a man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho when he was attacked by robbers, and then stripped him of his clothes, beat him, and went away, leaving him half dead. Then a priest happened to be going down of the same road, and when he saw the man, he passed by on the other side. And so to a Levite, where he came to the place, saw him, passed on the other side. But a Samaritan, as he traveled, came where man was, and when he saw him, he took pity on him. He went to him, bandaged him his wounds, pouring on oil and wine, and then he put the man on his donkey, brought him to an inn, took care of him, and the next day he took out 2 denarii and gave him to the innkeeper. Look after him, he said, and when I return, I'll reimburse you with an extra expense that you may have. Which of these 3 do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of the robbers? And the expert of the law answered, well, the one who had mercy on him. And Jesus told him, go and do likewise. So ano ibig sabihin nito? Jerusalem, again, balikan ko ulit yung kwento. Galing yung mama, kinuwento ng Panginoon, hindi, ito po ay parable, pero may possibility that these things occurred. Because common yung lugar na may nangyayari dyan. So galing yung mama sa Jerusalem, the seat of blessings, the seat of peace, Jerusalem is peace, the city of peace, and then papasya ng Jericho, the city is the city of curse. Tama? In between the city of peace and city of curse, may road. At nakita natin that the road, the place was called Adumim, and Adumim means the pass of blood. Mataas ang porsyento that half of people that will pass that road will die. Why? Because 40,000 workers of Herod went there, they became robbers and bandits doon sa lugar na yon. Okay? Yun ang problema, sa Jericho, 12,000 priests ang nakatira. At hindi ginagalaw nitong mga bandido na ito. Yun ang kinote ng Panginoong parable. At hindi nila ginagalaw ang mga priests at Levites. Bakit? Siguro nga kilala nilang priests at Levites, hindi naman katalo. So nung dumating yung priest, makita natin sa kwento, pinilawag ko last week, so nung dumating yung priest, the priest was heartless, and so heartlessly passed on the other side. When he saw the man, heartlessly he passed on the other side. Nung nakita niya, tumabi na at kumuha na ng ibang daan. Di ba? Tinamaan yung lawyer. Bakit? Sapagkat kinote sila ni Jesus. Uy, kami pala yung unang dumaan tapos nilampasan nyo. Dumating din yung Levites, verse 32, di ba? Baka ito na yung savior ng mama, sapagkat yung mama ay half dead. Pero may possibility na ang tingin nila yung tao ay patay. Tama ba? So nung dumating yung Levites, verse 32, can we go to verse 32? 32, okay, verse 32. Sabi ito, and so to a Levite, when he came to the place and saw him, pass on the other side. So baka ito na. Sabi ng Bible, hindi. Same tribe ng mga Pharisee, servant ng temple. Levites were servant of the temple of God. They were also interpreter of the Bible. So he looked on, he saw him, nakita niya, napagmasdan niya, and yet nung napagmasdan niya, yet he left him. He took another road. So yung isa kanan, siya naman kaliwa na. Hello? So question, why did Jesus bring the priest and the Levite into the story? Why? Because ang kausap niya ay pari. Hello? So in-expose na ng Panginoon ang mga sumusunod. Number 1, unreal. Sabi rito, they exposed the unreal. Di po ba? Heartless, compassionless, formal, organized religion. Sa isahin natin, unreal, heartless, compassionless, formal, organized religion. Sinasabi ni Pablo, having a form of godliness, but no power. Yan. Yun ang sinasabi po niya. Purihin ang Panginoon. So, na-reveal na. Kaya ngayon, pagkatapos sinabi, after quoting the priest of their heartless, yung kanilang being, and so Jesus now allowed the third person to come into the scene. The Samaritan has his heart. And so Jesus used the word Samaritan, which is an abomination in the ears of the Jews. Itong mga salitang Samaritano, karumal-dumal yan sa tenga nila. And so, ginawa ng Panginoon sa ship niya, ipinasok niya ngayon yung Samaritan. The Samaritan has his heart, the essence of religion. The true religion is in the heart of the Samaritan. Yung Samaritana, ang may puso ng relihiyon. Kaya ang tanong, itong pag-uusapan natin ngayon, sino pa tong Samaritan? Di ba? Sino po ba tong Samaritan? Okay? Sino po sila? What's their background? Di ba? Samaritan were half caste or mestizo. Sila po ay half Jew and half Gentile. Nung panahon ng captivity ng Assyrian, ang Assyrian ay pumunta ng 10 tribes, kinuha lahat ng 10 tribes, kaya lang may natira. Pag natitiraan ka ng tao, ang tawag doon ay remnants. So nag-iwan sila ng tao sa Galilee, tapos kinuha lahat ng mga tao. Dinisperse na lahat yung tao na yan. So itong mga remnant na ito, dahil wala ng tao doon, so they decided to do intermarriage with neighboring countries. Wala kang option para dumami. Ubus ka eh. Magkaaway naman kayo ng kapatid mo, mga Hudyo, Jews. Sila Northern Kingdom, Southern Kingdom. And so what they did was, intermarried these foreigners, neighboring countries. And so nagkaroon ng mixture ng lahi. So we have now the Samaritan. As a matter of fact, gumawa na rin sila ng sarili nilang Torah. Kung tawagin is the Samaritan Pentateuch. Kasi ayaw silang pahiramin ng kanilang mga kapatid because sila po ay mestizo. Okay? So a mixture of Jews and Gentiles. So they were hated badly by the Jews, by the full-blooded Jews. Sapagkat nakipag-asawa sila eh. And so, ang desisyon ng mga Jews is for them not to be considered as Jews. Okay? Okay? So, Jesus will have no dealing na ngayon. Sa makatid, ang sinasabi na ngayon natin, kung si Jesus ay pure-blooded Jews, hindi ngayon siya makikipag-usap sa mga Samaritan. So, walang Pharisee na makikipag-deal sa mga Samaritan. Because they were treated as outcast of the society. Nga pala, magkapit-bahay po sila. Jerusalem, Judea, then Perea, and then Galilee. Andun sila. Andun yung lugar na yan. Mixture na yan. Pagdating mo ng Galilee, mixture na ng Hudyo yan at mga ano. Sa Pilipinas, pag ang anak mo mestiza, dali mo na sa ABS-CBN kasi kikita ka. Nung araw, pag ang anak mo mestiza, itago mo na. Wala na mag-aasawa dyan. Sabi mo sa katabi mo, salamat, hindi ka mestizo. Okay. Di ba? Nga pa, magkapit ba siya? So they were locally close neighbors. Okay? But they were morally most unneighborly. Bagamat magkapit bahay po sila, nag-aaway po sila lagi pagdating sa religion. Because the Jews will always say to the Samaritan that God will only appear in the temple. And the temple is in Jerusalem. So you need to go to Jerusalem in order to feel God. And so the Samaritan made their own stand then. You can only feel God in Jacob's well. God is here in Jacob's well. Kaya na-meet ni Jesus yung Samaritan in John 4 dito. Argumento sila ng doktrina. Sumagot ang Panginoon, well, wala na sa lugar yan. Because God can be worshipped in spirit and in truth. Hello? Hello? If you go to our comfort room, you will feel God there. Amen? Punta kayo doon, tagalan nyo. Okay, hanggang matapos. Okay? So mararamdaman mo ng panon. Okay? Katulad din ngayon. If you remember, may isang Israeli. Ang Israel at saka Palestine nagsishare ng common city. May mga particular lugar lang ng pang-Gentiles or particular place in Jerusalem now, ngayon, na pang-Hudyo. Pag lumakad doon ang isang sundalo, doon sa Palestinian border, sasaksakin nila yan. Punta kayo sa YouTube. Pasaksakin nila lahat yan. So yung enmity na yan, bakbakan. Okay? And so ano sinasabi natin? Hindi natin kilala yung lalaki dito, tama? There was no mention of what is the identity of that man here. Okay? Of the man here. Okay? Therefore, the lawyer must have been amazed when Jesus introduced a Samaritan. As the only one on that lonely, dangerous Jericho road, willing to befriend a helpless Jew. Smooth na smooth yung kwento eh. Pasok ang priest and then pinasok ang Levite. Mamaya-maya, a Samaritan. Nga pala, wala namang sinabing adjective yung Samaritan. Hindi naman sinabing good Samaritan eh. Tama ba? Because the word good is agathos. And that agathos is addressed only to God. So, walang Jew na magsasabing good. Yung Samaritan nga, abomination. Nalalagyan ko ng good. And the word good can only be addressed to God. Agathos. Sabi ni Jesus, a good Samaritan. Sobra yun. Makatid, may pagtingin si Lord sa mga Samaritano. Tingnan natin ulit, balikan natin. Dito naiintindihan ako, nakatingin lang kayo sa akin, pero nakanganga kayo, hindi nyo naiintindihan, taas na kamay. Aminin. Okay, tuloy natin. So therefore, yun na, pinasok na niya, may Samaritano. So, nakatingin na nga siya, ano nangyari sa Samaritano na yan? Ayun na. So, hindi alam ng mga Hudyo na ang mga ito kailanman ay hindi magbibigay ng tulong eh. Sa mga, kahit kalabit na tulong, sa mga mapang-aping lahing Hudyo. The very man from whom no needy Jew could expect the least relief was the one who gave it. Least. Yung Samaritana, least sa maiisip ng Jew. Ito na ngayon. So I can now conclude, listen carefully, that the man who fell under the hands of the robbers was not a Gentile. He was a Jew. Bakit ikikwento ni Jesus na kung hentil ang kinuha, so what? Ano maganda? Hentil ka, di magtulungan kayo. Pero kung hentil ang kinuha nung Samaritana, wala namang unusual sa kwento eh. Pero bakit unusual yung kwento? Because yung mama na nag-fell under the hands of the robbers, okay? Ay, yung mga robbers, ang pangalan nila, Goodyear Group. No? Sipin nyo, Goodyear, robbers eh. Oh, tagal, pare. Ano lang ihari sa inyo? Goodyear. Kasi may taon silang kailangan kolektihin nila yung pera. Goodyear to, pare. So lahat ng mga robbers were there, no? Okay, sige, okay lang. Sabi mo sa katay mo, makarecover ka sana, bro. Okay. So the very man from whom no needy Jew could expect the least relief was the one who gave it. If you remember, hindi yung gagawin nila. Di ba? Nakabasa na ba kayo? Have you read Obadiah? Obadiah was about, it's a simple book po in the Old Testament. The story is about, ay katulad ng ganito po. Nung ang Hudyo ay kinukuha ng mga Babylonian, tama po ba? So nung dumating ang mga, winawasak ngayon ang Jerusalem. Yung mga Edom, katabi, kapatid to eh. Si Edom originally was Esau, kapatid ni Jacob. So magkapatid sila eh. So, nung nilulusob ng Jerusalem under Babylon, pambira yung Edom, nakiluting sila. Tapos, nung nagtakbuhan yung ibang Jews, for what? For security, they went to Edom. Alam mo ginawa ng mga Edomites? Tinuro lahat. Ito, lahat nagtatago. Sumulat si Lord sa kanila. Obadiah was used for that. Sabi niya, then, what happened with your brother Jacob, same thing will happen to you. Because kailangan ng kapatid mo ng tulong eh. Pero, tinanggalan mo ng tulong. Diniprive mo of assistance. Galit na galit. Basahin niyo Obadiah. Ganda ng kwento. Mukhang galit si Lord sa mga taong May chance mag-extend ng help, pero ang ginawa niya, nag-withdraw siya. So Jesus' life now is what? And so Jesus, by quoting the Samaritan now, can we go to the PowerPoint, please? Number 1, that Jesus' life is vain. It's nothing. Religion is vain. Rituals is vain. Memorizing Torah and the Decalogue, 10 Commandments, is vain. Wala kwenta yung memorization ng verse nyo. And they were righteous and despised others. So Jesus exposed the real Jews. Eto kayo. Bad kayo, ha? Talagang bad. Sabi ni Pablo, having a form of godliness but denying the power. Each power or power thereof. So Jesus saw, tapos in-expose ni Christ ngayon, Jesus saw in the heart and the life of the Samaritan. Ito nakita niya, that inside the heart of the Samaritan, there is life. There is life. The essence of the kingdom of God is residing in the heart of the Samaritan. Yung essence ng kaharian ng Diyos, yung substance nasa puso ng Samaritano, and yet hindi naman siya dapat sumampa sa Diyos. Mistiso siya eh. Tapos sa kanya, ABS, Channel 2, Channel 7. Like, there is the law of God is residing in the heart of the Samaritan. Religion is alive. True rituals is alive. Sila'y nagtutrue fasting at nagtutrue Sabbath. Hindi na pala may kinalaman yan sa lugar, kundi may kinalaman kung ano ang puso. Kanina kinote ko, I quoted the story about the 10 lepers. 9 Jews, 1 Samaritan. Ito lang yung isa ang nagpasalamat. Meron siyang essence ng religion. Hello? Kaya ang Jew, ang layo ng kanilang understanding sa mga bagay-bagay at kabaliktaran ng mga importante. Ano ba yung sinabi ko? Hindi ko naintindihan. So the parable, so ano ngayon ang pinapaliwanag ng Panginoon doon sa parable of the Good Samaritan? The parabolic interpretation of the brotherhood of man seen in the brotherhood of need. Papaano ko ma-expose at magagawa yung brotherhood of man kapag may nag-a-arise na need? Makinig mabuti, na iniiwasan ng maraming Kristiyano, ay ayoko niyan, ayoko involved dyan, tapos na ako dyan. Ay ayoko ng ganyan, may dugo yan, marumi yan, bawal sa amin humawak ng dugo. Yun ang problema. Can we go, next verse. But the Samaritan, as he traveled, came where the man was. He came where the man was. When he saw him, he took pity on him, and then he went to him, and then he bathed him his wounds, pouring on oil and wine. At dumating ang Samaritano kung saan andoon yung mama. Tapos nakita niya, naawa siya, tapos pinuntahan niya, tapos hinilom ang kanyang sugat, tapos binuhusan ng langis, tapos binuhusan siya ng alak. So he rendered a quick and effective help. Hindi na nag-isip. Di ba? Tatanungin ko yun. Tingnan nyo sa YouTube, may binarel. Ang daming tao. Anong gagawin ng mga tao? Takbuhan lahat yan. Andun sa isa, naku po, kahit yung matanda, ang bilis tumakbo niya, 60 kilometers per hour. Gusto mo. Wag lang madamay. So what happened here? Let me introduce to you the Samaritan. He saw him. He saw him. Kita niya yung mama. Yung dalawa, nakita din. Pero ang pangalawang nakita nila, doon sa unang nakita nila is road paalis. Yun ang problema sa mga marami nakikita. The Samaritan saw him. Samaritan has an eye for the needy. And then not only that, but he took pity on him. Nakita niya and then naawa siya. So minub siya ng mercy. Na gumawa ka, ay oo nga. So Samaritan felt the need in his heart. The man was half dead. And then he went to him. Wow. Yung mga priest, hindi hahawak ng dugo yan. Numbers 19. Hindi nga hahawak ng patay yan eh. And so nag-conclude sila, yung dalawa, napatay na yung mama. Ba't ko tutulungan? Bawal sa aming humawak ng patay. Eh magsisinigaw na baboy pa siya sa pauwi. Sinigang na baboy. Oh. So he went to him. So the Samaritan made a move. So the mercy was converted into movement. Nakakita rin tayo ng mga tao dyan, nasagasaan, ay, nakakaawa, nakakaawa lang. Wala silang ginagawa. Nakakaawa, mamatay na, nakakaawa lahat. Pero walang movement. Kaya tayo minsan, pag namamatay na yung tao, sana nakatulong na ako. Di ba? May 300,000 ka sa bangko, pero may kapatid ka, 50 mil lang, pero hindi mo minub yung 50 mil. Sabi mo, di ba, magbibigay ako sa patay. Patay na yung kapatid mo eh. Ano ang gagawin mo sa 50 mil? Kasi bakit? Mababawasan yung account ko. Buhay itong pinag-uusapan. Bakit? Nadala tayo nung araw. So there is no wala na ngayon siyang movement. But the Samaritan made a move. May kilos, may galaw. And then the story continued. And bandage his wounds and pouring on oil and wine. He went directly to the wounds. So chinek niya lahat, asan ng wounds, asan ng bleeding, ito. Ay agad, directly. Yung mama, nakakagulat, the Samaritan was prepared for this. Hello? Hello, nakakita na ba kayong katabi nyo? Meron na siyang medical kit. Bakit? Pupunta tayo ng trinoma. Ba't may medical kit ka? Eh, baka madapa ka, magugod ang ilong mo. Duguin ka. Ako na bahala, pupunasan natin. So part ng outfit nila, he carried bandages, oil, and wine. So people may accuse him of being a drunkard. But sabi niya, I know, the wine is not for drinks, but the wine is for healing. So he was prepared. The man was ready for this kind of battle. And oil, let's check the oil. The oil was widely used by the ancient as an external remedy to assuage the pain of open wounds. Sabihin ng oil, ang ginagawa ng oil, pain reliever siya. Para lang ma-assuage, mapahupa yung sakit na nararamdaman ng tama. Isaiah 1:6. The wine was an external remedy for wounds and bruises. Cleanse the wounds and staunch the blood. So, ang ginagawa naman ng wine, pinapatuyo agad yung continuous na bleeding ng dugo. Ganong kagrabe ang wine. Amen? Kaya ang masarap sa wine, pag iniinom directly dito sa tiyan, tumutuyo lahat ng dugo dyan, patay agad ang tao. Pinatutuyo niya lahat dyan. So, kailangan yan, hindi iniinom paloob yan, palabas. Kailangan sa labas tumutulo ang dugo. Pagkatapos niyang gawin ito, marunong. Hello? And then he put the man on his own donkey. He lifted the half man up on his own donkey. So, ang ginawa na niya, nakita niya, na huminto na, hindi niya pwede namang hindi pahintuin yung dugo. After nung huminto na yung dugo, kinuha na niya, nilagay na niya sa donkey, itinawid na niya yun. And then he brought him to an inn, and then he took care of him. Pwede na siya mag-stop. Alam mo, sa akin po, mga Pilipino, dala tayo sa paggawa ng mabuti. Naintindihan po natin. Pwede na tayo mag-stop dun sa oil and wine. Pwede natin sabihin, next chapter, di ba? Replacement please. Tapos na ako sa oil and wine. Pero yung mama showed an exemplary attitude. He was really excellent in, he was a philanthropist because he loved people. So pag sinabi natin philanthropist is about giving your money to the poor. No, he was a real, genuine philanthropist because alam niya kung ano ang basic need ng tao. So pwede siya mag-stop sa oil and wine. And that is too much. But he went extra miles. Kinarga na yung mama, inilagay na sa donkey, tapos naghahanap na ng inn. Nakita na niya, Anito. Ito, okay to. O kaya, Victoria. Pero siguro class yung mama, he was a merchant, he was a rich merchant, and so nakita niya, Holiday Inn. Ayun, biblical Holiday Inn. Pasko naman ngayon. So he lifted him up on his donkey, brought him to an inn, and then this is what amazed me. And according to the Bible, took care of him. That's an extra mile, di ba? Siya na nag-ayos, marunong yung mama. He knew the essence of religion. He knew Torah. He knew the Ten Commandments. He knew the law by heart. Kaya siya tinawag na Good Samaritan. Why? Because lahat ng ginagawa niya ay good because he was kind-hearted. The motive was good, the action was good, and the goodness and the kindness was proven by the extra mile he did for the stranger. The man was a stranger to him. Nalaman pa niyang Hudyo, kayo na yan, bahala na kayo. Sapagkat kayo naman nilalait. No! Sabi niya, hindi tungkol to sa panlalait. I remember Abraham Lincoln. He was looking for a best man kasi bakante yung kanyang cabinet post. And so he chose Edmund Stanton for the position. And so karamihan ng cabinet members niya, sabi sa kanya, sir, you cannot pick that man. You know why? Because you were greatly ridiculed by that man. He called you unggoy, sir. Talaga? During the campaign, sir, he called you unggoy, you're a chimpanzee. Really? Oh. But anyway, this is not about me being a chimpanzee. This is about the nation. We need Edmund Stanton. Kailangan siya ng bansa. Hindi ko siya kailangan. Pero kailangan siya ng bansa. Hello? So the Samaritan stayed that night with the man. Took care of him. Ikausap pa ba ako rito? The next day, kala nyo tapos na? Hindi pa. Hindi pa. Sabi mo sa katayo mo, hindi pa. Sabi mo. Alam mo, ang tao talaga pag mabuti, hindi siya mauubos eh. Siya sabi, ubus na ako sa inyo, mga lahi ko. Tuwing Pasko ako lagi sumasagot. Ayoko na ha. Susunod tayo. Di ba? Ganun, Pilipino eh. Ito hindi siya Pilipino eh. So the next day, he took out 2 denarii. I don't know the equivalent amount of denarii sa panahon natin in our, and gave them to the innkeeper and look after him, he said. So, binigyan niya ng 2 denarii, kausap niya yung innkeeper, sabi niya, pakialaga mo siya ha, may lalakarin lang ako. And said, and when I return, sabi niya, magbabayad lang ako sa Meralco kasi alam mo itong mga Meralco, walang patawad yung mga yan, 1 buwan lang, puputulan ka ng mga yan. So, punta lang ako, magbabayad ako ha. Sabi niya, and when I return, I will reimburse you for any extra expense that you may have. The Good Samaritan portrayed the exact image of the Old Testament God. He was the tangible, he was used by God to show to the Jews the exact characteristic of God. And God chose a foreigner, just to show to them, to shame them of their false religious belief and exercises. And so, ang ginawa ng Panginoon, pumili siya ng isang taong least mo mag-expect that will portray the very image of God. Na-excite ako. Ako lang. Salamat po. Luke 10:35. Usually, the trio of Israel is this. I'll give you the trio of Israel. We have Tito, Vic, and Joey, right? Hello? Tito, Vic, and Joey. Sa Israel, ito ang trio. Ito po. Priest, Levite, Jew. Yan ang trio nila. Sabi ni Jesus, ito mali, may bagong trio tayo. This is the new trio. Sabi niya ganoon. Priest, Levite, Good Samaritan. Ang hirap sa inyo, akala nyo, kayo lang ang ligtas eh. Ang hirap sa mga nagpo-prophetic, akala mo, sila lang ang kinakausap ni Lord. Kasi kinausap ako ni Lord. Kami hindi. Ay, nga pala, busy kasi kausap kayo. So if you are so proud telling the world that, God gave you a vision, I have a good news to you. Nebuchadnezzar, an evil person, was given an accurate vision not about sa panahon niya, it's about the whole world and the end times. So unusual. So walang church na magsasabing, monopoly namin ng growth, monopoly namin ng maturity, monopoly namin ng magalito. Wala pong pwede mag-monopolize ng anumang bagay sa Diyos sapagkat may mga taong least expected mo na pwedeng gamitin ng Diyos at higit pa sa paggamit sa iyo ng Panginoon. The substitution of a Samaritan. Brothers and sisters, the substitution, of a Samaritan was a master stroke. Just to rebuke you lawyers na sinasabi nyo na kayo lang ang kinakausap ni Lord. Ang sabi ng Panginoon, magugulat po kayo. Sabi ni Elijah, Lord, ako na lang po ang natira. Naku, kutusan kita dyan, may 7,000 pa. Yabang-yabang mo, kala mo, ikaw na lang mag-isa. Sinabi ko yan, Lord, ako na lang ang poging pastor. Anak, meron pa 7,000. Hindi kayo magkikita-kita, huwag kayo mag-alala. So sinagot ni Jesus yung tanong, who is my neighbor? Parang yung mga katabi mo, who is my neighbor? Luke 10:36. Which of these three do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of the robbers? Ipit siya ngayon. Sapagkat kung ako ang expert ng law, hindi ko ito sasagutin ng Samaritan. Kasuklam-suklam yun eh. Pag narinig ito ng maraming tao, ng mga Pharisee, sasabihin niya, ba't mo sinabi ang pangalan na yan? So ipit siya ngayon. Tinan mo ang sagot niya. Sige, tinan niyo. Ano sagot niya? Sige, basahin niyo. Sige. Sabagot siya niya sinabing Samaritan. Ang sagot niya, the expert of the law replied, the one po who had mercy on him. So he never quoted the name Samaritan. And so ano expectin ko? Maglalagay siya ng good? Hello? Nakikinig ba kayo sa akin? Yes. And so sabi niya, huli siya. Sabi ng Panginoon, ayaw mo sabihin, ha? Okay, very good. So he doesn't say the Samaritan or the good Samaritan. Pagkat napakabayas, hindi masasabi yung name. At talong hindi niya masasabi yung Good Samaritan. Anong sagot ng Panginoon? Luke 10:37. Tama ba? 37c. Go and do likewise. Paraphrase ko. Be a Samaritan. Are you a Jew? Yes. Are you an expert of the law? Yes. Sabi niya, don't be a priest. Don't be a Levite. Be a Samaritan. Sabi mo sa katabi mo, be a Samaritan to me, kapatid. Wala akong pang lunch. Hello? So anong sequel ng parable? Can we go to the sequel of the parable? Listen carefully. Sinulat ko na po. 1, 2, 3, go. Be a good to someone, okay? Go. Yun po. Yun na yun. To show, go. To show that the divine command to love our neighbor as ourselves is fulfilled by the intention to help the needy without asking first who he is and in what relation he stands to us. Sa darating pong botohan, magkakahiwa-hiwalay na naman tayong iba Duterte. Ang iba naman ay Grace po. Ang iba naman ay Mar Rojas. Mag-aaway-away tayo. Pero ang pagiging Good Samaritan ay wala akong kinalaman sa ating mga political affiliation or religious affiliation. The Samaritan proved himself to be neighborly, for true neighborliness reveals itself in mercy. Ipinakita ng Samaritan ang tunay na pagiging kapitbahay o pakikipagkapwa-tao sapagkat ang pakikipagkapwa-tao ay laging lantad sa pagkakaloob ng awa at habag sa tao. Sabi ng James, for Sister Mercy triumphs over judgment. Sister Mercy triumphs over brother judgment. Ayan. So the deep principle of human conduct or philosophy of life is the same question of the lawyer. What was the question? Who is my neighbor? Because gusto niyang piliin kung sino lang ang kapitbahay niya. Gusto lang niyang piliin kung sino ang tutulungan niya. Meron tayong ganyan. Pamilya ko lang tutulungan ko. Pamilya ko lang pag-aaralin ko. Bakit? Ay, kanya-kanya tayo. Ano, papag-aaralin ko kayo? Meron tayong ganyan. So how are we to distinguish now our neighbor? Sabi ng mama, sino po ang aking kapitbahay? Sino ang aking kapwa? Sabi, sumagot siya, eto po ang neighbor mo. Sabi niya gano'n, then your neighbor is, every man will be your neighbor. Lalo na in need siya. Without distinction of race, without distinction of religion. So what makes neighborhood? Pastor Manny, ano po ang composition ng kapitbahay o ng kapwa? The answer will be not place, not place, but heart. It's about the heart. Ang kapitbahay ko ay ang pinakamalapit? No, it is not place, but love that makes neighborhood. Sa bansang Pilipinas, we forgot about neighborhood. Ang usong-uso, Robin Hood lahat. Magnanakaw sila, tas ibibigay sa taong bayan. Robin Hood. So the question is not much, who is my neighbor? Kapatid, I'll give you the right question. The right question is this, am I neighborly? Ako ba ay nakikipagkapwa-tao, lalo na sa nangangailangan? Regardless kung kilala ko o hindi, o katabi ko, o kamag-anak ko, o ka-church ko. So the question is this, ang dami na ngayong tanong, iisa lang umigot. Are you a Samaritan to someone? Are you a Samaritan to someone? Is there any person today na brutally po, na sinaktan, tapos in need of your assistance, and yet, ang sinasabi mo, hindi ko naman siya ka-church eh. Hindi naman namin siya kamag-anak eh. Bisaya ba siya? Ilocano ba? Bakit? Malapit ko bang kapitbahay yan? Taga saan ba yan? Taga barangay ba natin? Ha? Nearness does not make neighborliness. This is not about blood. Tayo lahat, we are dreaming that one day that we will see Batman in person, Superman, Iron Man, Spider-Man. These are fallacies. Itong kwento na ito, hindi totoo. Malakas at maganda. Hindi po sila totoo eh. Incredible Hulk. The real biblical hero is not Superman, but the Samaritan. Hadyaw ba kayo? The priest and Levite were near. Napakalapit po nila. They were near both race. Hudyo yung pinapatay eh. At very near sa office, because yun ang office nila to help, to extend help. The Samaritan by race and office was remote. So people may live in one roof, yet divided by a narrow wall. Pwedeng nakatira tayo sa isang bahay, pero wala nang neighborliness. Pwedeng magkakasama tayo sa isang church, pero pag uwi natin, kanya-kanya na tayo. Pero may isang pamilya na sa sulok na, may pamasahe tayo. Naibigay ko lahat sa offering. Kasi tinakot tayo ni Pastor Manny. Talagang ganyan naman si Pastor Manny. Pero wala ba nagtanong, sino kaya ang nag-attend sa church na kahit walang pamasahe ay pumunta sa church dahil sa pag-asa nila makakatikim sila ng salita ng Diyos na hindi nila pagpapalit kahit maglakad sila. Ang dami namin pera, kakain kami sa 5-star hotel ngayon, kakain kami ng steak. Sinong pamilya ang uuwi na maglalakad lang at magja-Jollibee? Only the eyes and the spirit of the Samaritan makes neighborliness. Today, naghahanap ang Diyos ng mga Samaritana sa church. Ako, nalulungkot po ako mga kapatid. Sa pastoral level. Sapagat ang mga tao, para bang ang dami mong obligasyon sa kanila, pero wala ni isa minsan magtatanong, bro, ka nga rito. May problema ka ba? At anong matutulong ko? At minsan napapagod na tayo, may mga taong pag nag-ring ng telepono at nakita mo sila, alam mo na naman, nahihingan ka nila, pero ang tanong mo, ano kaya ito? Naging Samaritan kaya ito sa akin? Na nagtanong siya na, Pastor Manny, ano ba? May problema ka ba? Ano pa matutulong namin sa'yo? Ba, isang araw, pagod na pagod ako, may pastor, pinigyan ako ng ticket. Pumunta ako ng Bacolod. O sabi ko, saan ako magpipreach? Ay, hindi ka magpipreach. Ay, bakit? Hindi ako magpipreach. Wala akong kikitain. Ay, hindi ka magpipreach. Magpapahinga ka dito sa hotel. Tapos pagkakapihin ka namin. Hindi nila ako pinakain, 3 araw. Puro kape lang. Ay, ang sarap-sarap ng kape sa Bacolod. Have you been in Bacolod? Go there. The city of smile. They love to smile. Hello? After nun, wala akong preaching. Ay, wala, pastor. Bakit? Kita-kita ka namin sa Facebook. Ang dami mong ginagawa. Magpahinga ka. Paano? Hindi ako kikita. Kikita ka. Basta magpahinga ka, bibigyan ka namin ng love gift para magpahinga. Kailan mo ako papabalikin dito? Pera. The pastor was a neighbor to me. Hello? So let me close this. Exodus 12:4. If any household is too small for a whole lamb, they must share one with their nearest neighbor. Having taken into account the number of people there are, you are to determine the amount of lamb needed in accordance with what each person will eat. Sa Tagalog, kapag ang isang household may malaking tupa at kinatay nila, tapos kukonti lang sila, sabi niya, pwede bang i-consider nyo ang pinakamalapit na kapitbahay at bigyan sila ng share ng lamb? Shawarma. I love the word, consider your neighbor. So what is neighborliness? It's about consideration. Now, what is consideration? Consideration is a set of thinking carefully about something. Sinasabi niya, layman's term, have a careful thought. Isipin mo nga, ano nangyari na sa anak ko nag-aaral? Ano nangyari sa nanay ko paaral ng paaral? Ano nangyari sa tatay ko trabaho ng trabaho? Have a careful thought of your neighbor. Kaya lang talagang, minsan may mga tao talaga napakadamot at hindi talaga sila magbibigay. Kasi hindi mo alam na mayroon na palang change na maging good Samaritan. And so the question is, who is the Samaritan? I have 3 Samaritans here to close this. Number 1, Jesus is the Samaritan. Because he was talking about himself. And number 2, di ba, God will send you a Samaritan. Good news. Good news. Pangalawa, padadalan po kayo ng Diyos ng Samaritan. Maniwala kayo sa akin. Good Samaritan ka sa ibang tao, maniwala ka sa akin, magpapadala sa iyo si Lord ng Samaritan. And last, number 3, I have a good news to all of you. You are the Samaritan here. Labas ng church, isipin, Lord, sino tutulungan ko? Lord, bigyan mo ako ng tutulungan ko na hindi ko pa natulungan. At Lord, bigyan mo ako ng taong tutulungan ko na hindi siya makapagpapasalamat sa akin. Sapagkat the moment may mga taong tinutulungan kayo na hindi niya alam, na hindi siya makapagpapasalamat, maniwala kayo sa akin, lahat ng pagpapala, direkta bibigay sa inyo. Sapagkat ang Diyos lang ang nakakaalam ng ginawa mo. Doon sa taong hindi niya alam na tinulungan mo siya. That's the essence of the law. Of Christianity. I want to be like Barbara Streisand. Naku, I want to be the Michael Jackson of the Philippines. Kalimutan mo na yun. Be a good Samaritan to others. Because that is our calling.